Hello everybody and welcome to the second edition of SPW NewsWire. I am the voice of Spotlight Pro Wrestling. My name is Silver. And let's just jump right into it with the biggest story yet for Spotlight Pro Wrestling. The entire company as a whole right now has been picked up by Machinima. What does that mean? That means more views, higher content rating, and everybody in the Spotlight Pro Wrestling roster is under the radar right now as the new face of Call Wrestling Entertainment around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, with us being as part of the Machinima network now, that is going to be giving us a whole new range of fans and a whole broader spectrum for us to really release our product on. But there's going to be more about that on what's happening with the Machinima. Just stay tuned to future news wires in the future, and I'll do my best to keep up with it and see what information I can divulge to you guys at this time. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Excuse me. Episode 4, the Go Home Show of Payback, was one of the best episodes yet. Honestly, I mean, we had a lot to go through, and we had a lot happen on episode 4, including we saw the debut promo of one man known as the Rugged Rebel. Now, the Rugged Rebel, there's going to be more on him a little bit later in this broadcast for the Newswire, but he will be making his debut at Resurgence in the Resurgence Rumble, along with several other stars who will be making their debut in the Resurgence Rumble. But here we go. To start off the show, we had a promo from Rugged Rebel, and then all of a sudden, it just cuts to the back, and we see the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship laid out in the back. That is one Mr. Seth McInerney. Now, we find out, well, we put 2 and 2 together at the end of the night, and find out that Seth McInerney, not only Seth McInerney, but later in the night, we also had Jay Crack laid out in the back. Both men were victims of the one and his new movement, David Rivera and Conrad Ontavious Corleone. So the new movement, we've been hearing the one talk about the new movement for a while, and at the end of the show, he just tells the entire roster to be ready and that they have been put on notice that the new movement has arrived here in Spotlight Pro Wrestling. And their first victim, if you will, in the squared circle was none other than our World Heavyweight Champion and Rose Garden member, the UK sensation, Daniel Mars. Now, I mean, Daniel Mars put up one hell of a fight at the end of the night, but the odds were just way too overwhelming for Daniel Mars to come back from. Daniel Mars had a great chance. The one thing that shocked me was the way that the new movement came about attacking Daniel Mars as well. They ended up coming out, Daniel Mars was in the middle of his entrance nonetheless, and the one beat him down with a steel chair, and David Rivera proceeded to take that steel chair and inflict more punishment on Daniel Mars before the match would even start. And then when the match started, Daniel Mars, this is why I like this kid, Daniel Mars. Heart of a champion, showing why he really is the SPW World Heavyweight Champion. A valiant effort in fighting, but the numbers were just way too overwhelming. I mean, it was a 3-on-1 handicap match at the end of the night with the new movement, the one, David Rivera and Conrad Ontavious Corleone, mind you, who is the Gen X champion, just systematically destroying Daniel Mars. Now, I gotta know, in weeks to come, what's going to be the retaliation from the Rose Garden going further here as their star boy, their main man, Daniel Mars, the SPW World Champion, was taken out by the one. I know Marco Rose is going to have a fun time explaining this one and just trying to get Daniel Mars' name back into the good graces, because after that systematic takeover of Daniel Mars, it's going to be one hell of a time trying to get back. But we're going to find out what's going on with that in weeks to come. The one match that I think, in my mind, really stole the show. The Gen X division is proving why every match that a Gen X superstar is in is going to be the main event of the evening, whether it be the first match or the second match of the night, was proven to a T on last night's episode of Payback. We saw Austin Ujas go one-on-one with the savior of car wrestling, Rochambeau. And this match seemed to systematically be all Rochambeau. From the opening bell, Shambo seemed to have had a counter for every little thing Austin Ujas was throwing at him. Plus, this match was moving 100 miles a minute. I mean, honestly, I thought this match was going to be all Rochambeau. But out of nowhere, Shambo hit the ShamWow Destroyer, that sick flip pile driver, mind you. And no one ever really kicks out of that, and no one's ever the same after that ShamWow Destroyer. But Austin Ujas found a way to kick out of being dropped on his head, not once, but twice in this match. And Ujas showing why he is the hungriest man in the Gen X division last night. Coming back, overcoming the odds in this match, and hitting a big exploder suplex, following it up with a big body splash, and defeating the savior of car wrestling, Rochambeau. Austin Ujas is showing why he is here in SPW. He is here to make a name for himself. And I think the Gen X division is definitely calling the name of Austin Ujas. That is one definite thing, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. Austin Ujas is here to stay, and the Gen X division is his playground. But we had a man who is very familiar with Austin Ujas make his SPW debut last night. Critically acclaimed. He was coming in well hyped to go up against the Ghetto Texan, Garnett Court. I'm talking about one Scott McShannon. But with the role and the mean streak Garnett Court has had lately, he somehow destroyed Scott McShannon. I mean, I never saw this one coming. Scott McShannon came in looking to put up one of the biggest fights of a lifetime, and Garnett Court rolled right over him. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is Garnett Court keeps saying in his promos week after week he is not the one to be fucked with, and he is proving that. I mean, this man has been making anyone that's stepping in his way tap out to one of the most devastating bear hugs I have seen in professional car wrestling history. Garnett Court is definitely moving on to Resurgence to try and become the Diamond Division champion. That is for certain. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am moving on. Speaking of Resurgence now, I am going to move on now to announce the match card for Resurgence, ladies and gentlemen. And it is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, this is going to be our freaking first CPV after all. And we have got 8 jam-packed matches for Resurgence. And starting off the night, since I was just speaking about the Diamond Division, we're going to start the night off with Diamond Division action. Now, you're asking, what makes the Diamond Division different from any other division in car wrestling? In the Diamond Division, you are not able to go outside the ring. There is no ring outs. There's no escaping that ring. If you step out of the ring, you're disqualified. And the way we're going to see this, ladies and gentlemen, is the provisionals for the Diamond Division are going to start off a little funky. We're going to have a 6-man tag match to start off the provisionals. We are going to see the team of Mark Mayhem, the Master of Disaster Mark Mayhem, the Hollywood Bad Boy Peter Gilmore, and Girth Angle going up against the team of the greatest of all time, Tony Blaze, the Ghetto Texan Garnett Court, and the Fallen Assassin, Archangel. The winning team will go on to Payback Episode 5 to face off in a 3-way dance match to determine the very first Diamond Division champion. Now, we're either going to see Mark Mayhem versus Peter Gilmore versus Girth Angle on Payback Episode 5, or we're going to see Tony Blaze versus Garnett Court versus Archangel. Now, in my mind, this is just me, but in my mind, the team that has the advantage going into this match at Resurgence is definitely going to be the team of Tony Blaze, Garnett Court, and Archangel. Garnett Court is the only undefeated superstar in Spotlight Pro Wrestling right now. And if he can guide his team to victory to keep his winning streak going, I think Garnett Court is definitely going to be one of the men that I am looking forward to seeing as a breakout star in the Diamond Division. Because I definitely see Garnett Court taking the Diamond Division to new heights. But I also see a man on his team by the name of Tony Blaze, who we heard from on Episode 4. Definitely skyrocket the Diamond Division to where it needs to be to make sure all newcomers that are coming to Spotlight Pro Wrestling definitely see the Diamond Division as their starting division no matter where they're going to be at. They're going to try to make their match the main event of the evening. That is what I want from every single division here in Spotlight Pro Wrestling, is to make your match the main event of the evening, whether it be the opening bout or the actual main event itself. There is going to be, I don't want anyone to think they're ever a mid-card talent here in Spotlight Pro Wrestling, because you go out there, you make your match what you want to make it. You make your match the main event, whether it is the first match or the last match. Alright, match number 2 of the night for Resurgence is going to be for the Gen X Championship. Now, this is going to be a little controversial. We're going to see, the number 1 contender for the Gen X Championship is David Rivera. The Gen X Champion is Conrad Octavius Corleone, both members of the New Movement. Now, this is going to be something big here. Because after the victory over Rochambeau on Payback Episode 4, Austin Uhas has injected his name into the Gen X Championship bout. We're going to have a 3-way elimination bout between Conrad Octavius Corleone, David Rivera, and Austin Uhas. May the best man win coming out of that. And there has been a ruling from management. There can be no double teaming. Well, there can be double teaming, but there can't be an intentional trying to eliminate Uhas and then going one-on-one between David Rivera and Conrad Octavius Corleone. That is not why the fans are going to tune in to see this match. The fans are going to get their money's worth by seeing the best the Gen X division has to offer between Austin Uhas, David Rivera, and Conrad Octavius Corleone. Gen X Championship action on the Resurgence match card. Now, we're definitely gonna be hearing from one man on that night on Resurgence as well. We're gonna be hearing from the man who got jumped by the New Movement, Jay Crack. He is definitely gonna have a lot to say about the team of the one, David Rivera and Conrad Octavius Corleone. And after he gets done spilling his guts to the SPW Nation, Jay Crack will be defending his number 2 World Championship contender spot against the Scottish submission machine, Scott McShannon. Now, I know what you're saying. Scott McShannon lost in his debut match. Everybody deserves a second chance, and this is Scott McShannon's second chance, going one-on-one with the hardcore icon himself, Jay Crack. Now, the match that I'm personally looking forward to, both men are making their SPW debuts in the 4th match of the evening for Resurgence, we're going to have the cult leader, the leader of the straight edge movement, Andrew Cyrus, going one-on-one with a man coming from Call of Honor, the American terrorist, the Alex Enterprise. This is going to be definitely one match for you guys to watch out for. The Alex Enterprise working a limited schedule here in Spotlight Pro Wrestling, but he still wants to make his name known to the entire roster, and he is wanting to start his crusade against Andrew Cyrus. But Andrew Cyrus is wanting to start his straight edge crusade by making an example out of a veteran in the car wrestling industry, the Alex Enterprise. So we're going to see Alex Enterprise, Andrew Cyrus, one-on-one at Resurgence. And it's not set in stone yet, but match number 5 is most likely going to be a best 2 out of 3 falls match, where we're going to see Rose Garden member Chronix go one-on-one with the savior of car wrestling, Rochambeau. The bad blood between the YWF and Rochambeau heating up here, as we're going to have the Rose Garden member Chronix going up against disgruntled YWF employee and now SPW superstar Rochambeau. The words have been spread back and forth week after week between Rochambeau and any member of YWF management, whether it be the Rose Garden leader, Marco Rose, whether it be Daniel Mars or Chronix. Rochambeau has an agenda here, and it is going to be to systematically destroy the YWF members on the SPW roster. Now, heat has been building up for this match right here, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the match in SPW Payback Episode 4 between Levi McIntyre and Stephane Guerrero, McIntyre came up with a big victory over the Peruvian asshole, Stephane Guerrero. And then Guerrero would not let it be. Came from behind while McIntyre was celebrating his victory and beat him down with a lead pipe, ladies and gentlemen. And proceeded to pretty much say he was using Levi McIntyre to send a message to the SPW roster. Using him to send a message to everybody that's going to be in the Resurgence Rumble. Saying that he is going to be the one to go into the match and come out as SPW World Heavyweight Championship #1 contender for Destination Glory. Well, Stephane Guerrero is going to be going one-on-one with Levi McIntyre one more time at Resurgence. And this time, anything goes, no holds barred. Stephane Guerrero, one-on-one with the unforgiving Levi McIntyre, and I definitely know McIntyre is going to have something to say about Stephane Guerrero going into Resurgence. And ladies and gentlemen, the match I think everyone on the roster has been waiting for. SPW World Heavyweight Championship action. Daniel Mars, the UK sensation, the poster boy of the Rose Garden, will be going one-on-one with the anarchist, Seth McInerney. SPW World Championship action, Mars McInerney. Now, there are a lot of factors going into this match. Is Daniel Mars at 100% after the attack by the New Movement? And the same can be said for Seth McInerney. Is he at 100% after the attack by the New Movement? Or did he even get attacked by the New Movement, let alone, you know, like, we really don't know what went on backstage. We're assuming it was the New Movement attacking Seth McInerney, and we were assuming it was the New Movement attacking Jay Crack. But, case in point, both men cannot be at 100% going into Resurgence. So we're going to have two weakened men going up for the SPW World Championship. But Daniel Mars, the UK sensation, looking to pull off another victory against the Anarchists, the YWF World Heavyweight Champion Seth McInerney. Now, this is bringing us to the main event of the evening. The 20-man Resurgence Rumble. Now, ladies and gentlemen, people have been flocking from all over the wrestling world to be a part of the 20-man Resurgence Rumble. And we are going to see some men in this match that you may not have seen in SPW before. But we are also going to see a lot of other superstars as well. But before I announce the Resurgence Rumble, I've actually forgot one match that is going to be taking part at Resurgence. It is going to be the debut of the Divine Jackpot Adam Starr with 2 R's, not 1. 2 R's. Adam Starr will be gracing the Gen X division with his presence, going one-on-one with Chad Baker. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Chad Baker making his SPW return, going one-on-one with the Divine Jackpot, Adam Starr. But here is the Resurgence Rumble, and here are some of the combatants in the Resurgence Rumble itself. We are going to have the one jumping in to the Resurgence Rumble, Mr. Scott McShannon, the Scottish Submission Machine. We're going to have the greatest of all time, Tony Blaze, in the Resurgence Rumble. We're also going to see the greatest in-ring debut I think I'm looking forward to. That is the Rugged Rebel in the SPW Resurgence Rumble. Mark Mayhem, Peter Gilmore, Girth Angle, all these men mostly making their debuts at Resurgence and jumping into the Resurgence Rumble. But we're also going to have the man who's taken the Gen X division by storm, Austin Uhas, in the Resurgence Rumble. We're also going to see that devious, disasterly Chronics in the Resurgence Rumble. Archangel Chad Baker will be back to face 19 other men in the Resurgence Rumble as well, along with the Straight Edge cult leader, the leader of the Straight Edge movement, Andrew Cyrus. We're going to see Jay Crack, Stephon Guerrero, Garnett Court, Levi McIntyre. And also, coming from Call of Honor to grace his presence in the Resurgence Rumble is Scott Adams. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Adams will be in the Resurgence Rumble, along with Nathan Vaz, who is a Call Wrestling veteran making his rounds in the circuit. Coming to SPW to jump into the Resurgence Rumble, Nathan Vaz at Resurgence, ladies and gentlemen. There are a few other men who I am keeping a little bit of a secret here, but I promise you, this match will be huge, and the winner of the Resurgence Rumble will go on to Destination Glory to fight for the SPW World Heavyweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go and before I end the SPW NewsWire, I have got one last big announcement to tell the Call Wrestling world. If you haven't gotten enough of SPW Payback throughout the week, after Resurgence, there is going to be a 2-match show called SPW Extra that will be airing. I'm looking towards Saturday nights. It will be airing Saturday nights. SPW Extra, which will be bringing out the superstars that are not fully utilized, in my opinion. And it's definitely going to help move superstars up the rankings for them to build momentum going into the next episode of Payback and going into the next CPV. So be on the lookout for SPW Extra coming within next week, I'm assuming. SPW Extra is going to be showcasing the youngest talent in the SPW roster that have a chance to establish themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Silver, and thank you for joining me here on SPW NewsWire for the week of March 14th, 2014. And until next time, guys, I will see you back in the squared circle.